Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Samuel Akem here, and I'm back with another one. Today, I'm talking about South Dakota State versus Youngstown State. Youngstown State is a good, formidable opponent. They're going to give a lot of teams in the Missouri Valley fits, but they didn't give South Dakota State enough fits. They lost the game 35-30. It was a sloppy game from South Dakota State. Not the best game. Probably Chase Mason's worst game of the season. We're going to talk about it all. He threw an interception. I think that might have been his first interception of the season, but we'll talk about it all. Please make sure you guys hit the like. Please make sure you guys hit the subscribe. And most important, subscribe to the channel down below. We will get straight into it. Okay, first things first, South Dakota State is going to start with the ball after the touchback. He's going to find his receiver. No Lofton Ogroski in this game. I don't know the nature of his injury, but he did not play in this game. Either way, they're going to be in a 12 personnel. Julius, Loughridge, dog. We'll get to that as we get to the breakdown, but they're running a flood route to the outside, and they get it into the receiver's hands. Looks like they're in a quarter coverage right here. Youngstown State is in a quarter coverage. He's in a quarter. Excuse me, they're down lower because there's two tight ends attached to the formation, so they don't have to be as high. But these guys head up and they're playing zone. Chase Mason takes advantage of that zone, and Alex Bullock, who had 160 receiving yards, has the first catch of the game. Rolling out right here, and it's just going to be a sack for Youngstown State. Nothing out. I don't know if he expected his tight end. It looks like his tight end is lead blocking. A lot of times when you run this concept, though, this tight end goes into the flats. Then you get that out route over there, and then you get the deep corner from Graham Goring. Either way, the tight end didn't go into the flats. I don't know if he was supposed to or if he's not. It looks like he's lead blocking for the boot. He doesn't like any of his options out in front of him, and he just ends up taking the sack. Really good job from Youngstown State. Really good job. 2nd and 14 for South Dakota State coming up. Dropping back. He's looking for his receiver, Bullock, on the out, and that gets them close to first down yardage. Once again, another quarters coverage from YSU. You see the 4 quarters over the top, and then you see the 3 underneath coverages. They're only rushing 3, so they end up having a deep defender, another deep defender. Either way, it ends up being a one-on-one on this out route out here. Chase Mason's got his eyes on it the entire time, and he delivers it on time for the first down. 3rd and 3 coming up. Drop back pass for Chase Mason. They get a guy into the flats, but it's batted up from the defensive end, or not even the backer. Maybe this is a nickel. He looks like he's got a backer body, but he bats the ball down. Really good job. That was going to be a first down. They had that guy at first down yardage. Really strong play from that defensive end. Really good job. Looks like Youngstown State got into locking up this receiver down here with man coverage, but on the front side, it looks like a cover 3 zone. He looks like he's in a third. He looks like he's in a middle third. He looks like he's in a deep third. They're bringing a little pressure, like that linebacker coming off on the edge. And he gets the pass breakup. Really good job for Youngstown State. South Dakota State goes for it on 4th and 3. They get, they're running this stick concept to the front side. Stick route with Graham Goring. Flat route with Alex Bullock. And Bullock's going to be the horizontal stretch. You get that linebacker. I think this is actually a safety. You get that safety running with that horizontal stretch to open up the window for Goring, who hooks up right behind him. Chase Mason is not on time or accurate with this pass, and they don't end up converting on 4th down. Really strong defensive stand for YSU to start the game. Here you go. They're going to start it off with a play action pass. They're trying to run a double move. They try to run hitches and goes. Watch the receiver up here or watch the receiver down here, hitting those breaks, trying to get back vertical. It's covered well from South Dakota State, and the quarterback, gosh, I can't even remember the quarterback's name, is going to scramble for it's Brungard. Brungard is the quarterback's name. Brungard had a really good game. Brungard had a phenomenal game, probably one of his best games of the season. But here you go right here. They're going to run this post route with this outside receiver right here. They're in a heavy personnel, so 3 running backs on the field, 30 personnel. So 3 running backs, no tight ends, 2 receivers on the field, 30 personnel. They run the play action pass, which gets some of those backers coming downhill, even the safeties coming downhill. You run that post over the top. That safety is late reacting to it. Brungard is able to get the ball over the top to his receiver, delivered beautifully for the touchdown to give YSU the 7-0 lead. I'm trying to look for Brungard's name on here. I know I had it on here. I'm blanking on it, though. Excuse me, Beau Brungard. There it is. Beau Brungard. Really good ball right there for the touchdown. Really phenomenal ball for the touchdown. Good play design, getting in that 30 personnel. Phenomenal. They get the PAT to make it a 7-0 lead, and Youngstown State gets points first, man. Gets points first. Here you go. Drop back pass for Chase Mason on 1st and 10. He's looking for a receiver, and he's just inaccurate, man. There's a little bit of pressure in his face. Maybe there was a hand that got on that ball. It doesn't look like anybody put their hand up. He's just inaccurate with the pass right here. He's trying to get the out to Graham Goring, who's open. He's got some separation. You can get the ball in there, but you got to deliver it, and he just kind of dirts it. Not a good ball from Chase Mason. Chase Mason yesterday, I got it pulled up right in front of me, was 14 for 29 for 48% completion percentage. He did not have a strong game. 1st and 10 coming up for Youngstown State. They're running the jet toss sweep. It's nothing. The South Dakota State defense plays it well. Really good from this defender right here, this safety right here, coming downhill, engaging with that block, and then meeting the runner for a short gain, if any, at all. 4th and 9 coming up for Youngstown State. They're going to punt it away. They get the ball off. It's a fair catch. It's caught around the 25-yard line. South Dakota State's going to start their 3rd drive of the game. Drop back for Chase Mason, who gets it to his receiver Goring for the 1st down on 2nd and 10. Really good job. It's a little inside, the defensive back almost made a play on it. He didn't, though, and it's a good catch from Graham Goring. Good job right there. Here you go. 1st and 10 for South Dakota State. Bullock is in motion. They're going to hand it off to Julius Loughridge, who falls, man. He probably tripped over it. Yep, him and Chase Mason caught feet, and Julius Loughridge falls. We saw that happen in the North Dakota State game as well, but it brings up a 2nd and 13. Dropping back, trying to get the screen, and this is not professional football, my friend. You cannot get up. He puts that knee down, Bullock does, and that is the end of the play right there. Short gain on the screen. They punt it back to Youngstown State. It's 2nd and 10 for Youngstown State. They're getting it off to their receiver on the quick screen. It's blocked up well, and he's got 1st down yardage. Good first couple of drives from this Youngstown State offense. To start, they get the reverse. 2 linemen pulling out. They're pulling a little pin and pull action on the reverse, on the receiver reverse. It ends up being a pass. That is a pass. They're pulling their center and their backside tackle around to be lead blockers. They get out in front. They both go to the same guy, and it ends up being not a big play for Youngstown State on 3rd and 3. 2nd and 8 coming up for Youngstown State. What are we going to get? 2 minutes to go in the 1st quarter. That tight end gets a really good block on that D end on the end line of scrimmage. That tackle's pulling around that receiver. I think that's Tomczak on that receiver. Number 4 is going to get that safety on the outside safety or outside backer on a pop or crack block. That tackle's pulling around. That running back's a lead blocker as well. And Beau Brungard is running for near 1st down yardage. Brings up a 3rd and 4 for Youngstown State. They're going to hand it off to their running back, who is unable to get there, but he stays alive and gets very close. He does get the line to gain. Really, really good job. They're inside the 15 now. 1st and 10 coming up for Youngstown State. They're handing it off to the running back, and he gets nothing, man. Nothing. Really good job from this backer to go in there, diagnose it, despite getting blocked, make the tackle. Really, really good job. Really, really good job. Drop back for Youngstown State. They got a 7-0 lead. Brungard's looking for anybody to show up downfield. Looks like South Dakota State decided to play coverage. They're playing man, but they got some hook defenders around that safety in the middle of the field is spying things. It's man coverage right here, man coverage right here, man coverage right here. He's basically spying, picking off anything across the middle. That safety is your deep middle control. Nobody opens up. Beau Brungard's going to use his legs, and he gets down inside the 10-yard line. A little bit late of a hit, but he's still in bounds when he got hit, so no penalty right there. Good job from the South Dakota State defense, and they did throw it, so this ref deemed it was late enough to throw the penalty. He's going to throw it. That gets them half the distance to the goal. 1st and 10 from the 4-yard line. Let's see what they're going to run. Quarterback run. Beau Brungard keeps it and gets into the end zone to give Youngstown State the 14-0 lead. Phenomenal start from Youngstown State. They hit South Dakota State in the mouth, and it gives them the 14-0 lead. They kick the PAT, and they're up 14-0. South Dakota State's got the ball back now. Pre-snap motion with Alex Bullock, who's getting into the flats, and Chase Mason finds him, but it's just not, it's not there. It's not a great ball, first off, but then he would have taken a big hit right there on the completion anyway, so nothing there. 2nd and 10 for South Dakota State. Drop back for Chase Mason. He's looking for a receiver downfield. He gets pressure towards his right side with that nickel back blitzing in there. Watch this nickel. Gonna get in there. Gonna provide some pressure. Chase Mason's gonna feel that and get out of the pocket. He's gonna use his legs, and he's able to get about 5 on 2nd down. 1st and 10. There must have been a penalty somewhere. They got a 1st and 10 coming up with under 13 to go in the 2nd quarter. Drop back for Chase Mason. He's finding his tight end on the outside, and he gets the catch for about 5 yards. So they lined up their tight end outside right here. Go rings on the inside. They got another tight end and a hip. So they're in a 12 personnel. They're in a 12 personnel. That's the personnel they got on the field, but they're split out wide. You get that tight end against a cornerback. Hopefully you can get some favorable matchups. Big guy against a little guy. They only get 5 right there. 3rd and 3 coming up for South Dakota State. They're in a tight formation. Bullock's coming on the under, but he's not there. Chase Mason delivers it a little low to his receiver, number 19, on the mesh concept. He did have a step a little bit. He did have an opportunity to make the ball, although it's not ideal. The ball's a little low. He does get it there, but just pretty low, man. Just pretty low. Not a great pass. Rolling to your right, which should be your strong side, and it's just not delivered really easy to catch right there. Now, anybody's going to say this receiver's got to come down with this ball. I would agree, but I always like to say, too, the quarterback needs to help the receiver out just a little bit. Just a little bit sometimes. 4th and 3, South Dakota State's going to go for it again. Dropping back, finding Alex Bullock on the 4th and 3, and they did not get it, man. So another 4th down attempt and no good conversion. Really good job of the Youngstown State defense right there, bringing up a 1st and 10 for Youngstown State, under 11 and about 11 and a half to go in the 2nd quarter. Brungards getting to the outside, getting downhill, and getting very near 1st down yardage. So 30 personnel. Once again, 3 running backs on the field. Might be a tight end right here, so maybe we can say 21 personnel. But 2 backs on the field, 3 backs on the field, no tight ends on the field, 2 receivers. Brungard's going to fake the handoff. They're running a little quarterback pin and pull action. So they're pinning, pin. Even your outside receiver is going to pin that outside backer. You're pulling your backside guard and tackle around to be your lead blockers. Get a good block right there from your, what was that, the guard? You get a good block from your guard. Your tackle's getting upfield, not able to get on anybody, but it's still a super successful run. 2nd and 2 coming up for Youngstown State. 14-0 lead for them. They're going to do the handoff again, but this time he's going to hand it. That D end comes to the quarterback. That means that's a hand read, and it's a decent run. They get close to 1st down yardage, bringing up a 1st and 10. Youngstown State going to bring Tomczak in motion, and he's trying to get it to him. And it's just played really well from South Dakota State. Really, really well right here. This backer on the outside is going to force the pitch. He's coming to the quarterback, forcing the pitch, but then he's going to close in on the receiver as well. I mean, just played really well from the South Dakota State defense. Go get him, force the pitch. He throws it to him, but it still ends up being basically a pitch. He was there when he pitched it. I think that counts as a pitch. So it's still a run. And then that safety coming downhill. I mean, look at where the safety's coming from. He's basically in man coverage. So that's his man. He's shifting over the formation to cover his man and then just coming downhill. Really good job from that safety of South Dakota State. Youngstown State's going to punt it away, and they pin them inside the 10-yard line. They're going to start their drive from the 9 or from the 10. They end up being in a 3rd and 5 from their 15, and Alex Bullock is running the whip route for the 1st down. Really, really good job right here. Watch him up top of your screen. Coming inside, good release, put the brakes on, get back outside. Chase Mason delivers the ball on time with a little bit of pressure in his face, and it's a 1st down. Really, really good job. Chase Mason just has to do that on a consistent basis. He just has to do that consistently. 14-0 lead for Youngstown State. They're going to hand it off to Loughridge, who I haven't seen much yet in this breakdown, but he had 170 rushing yards, so he did something. Nothing much there, but that brings up a 2nd and 6. Handing it off to Loughridge once again, who is losing his helmet, and the play is going to be dead right there. They end up getting into the red zone. 14-0 lead for Youngstown State. 1st and 10 for South Dakota State. Chase Mason's rolling out, and just a little bit of pressure. The receiver, the tight end, is wide open. He just not, I mean, I don't know why. Give it to him right here. Give it to him right here. Why do you pump it? Give it to him. Give it to him. You're waiting for the defender. Now, I don't know if you thought one of those were going to cover it, but like, get it to him. What is the hesitation? So play fake right here. Tight end into the flats open right here. Why don't you give it to him right here? Maybe you thought one of these defenders, this corner, this safety was going to get there. They don't. Get it to him now. They don't. Get it to him now. They don't. Get it to him now. You wait until you're almost taking the hit, then it's an in. 2nd and 10 coming up for South Dakota State. 5.5 to go in the 2nd quarter. They're handing it off to Loughridge, who is getting to the outside, making guys miss. Almost made that final guy miss for the touchdown, but he didn't. Still really good blocks More pin and pull action, a lot of G scheme from the South Dakota State team. They run a lot of G scheme. Here's the pin and pull. They're pulling 3 pullers around. They're going to pull this tackle, this center, and that front side tackle around as well. As lead blockers, everybody else is blocking down. That tight end's even going to block down on that backer. He gets a good block. One of those linebackers is going to end up on a safety or a corner. That guy ends up, this front side tackle ends up kicking out that corner. That center ends up getting on a safety, and that backside tackle never ends up getting into the play. But it's still a big time explosive play, and they get down inside the 5. Next play, you got a 1st and 4. Rolling out for Chase Mason, finding his tight end into the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Really, really good job. So play action, they just had a really successful run. They're going to feign. So this is what good offensive coordinators do. I talked about this at North Dakota State last week. They just ran. This is the play that got them down here. The pin and pull with the 2 backers with the 2 running backs in the backfield is what just got them down to the 4-yard line. Watch it. Let's watch the full play. They're going to pull that backside tackle, that center, and that front side tackle all around on the pin and pull, and Julius Loughridge gets down inside the 5-yard line. Let's watch what the tight ends do on this play. The tight end ran a route on this play. So he still ran the exact same route that he ran before, but it's eye candy. He's not really running a route. They're running the ball. Next play on 1st and 4, run the exact same look. Make it look like the pin and pull. The tight end's running the exact same run that he was running. Maybe part of the reason why they're not on this is because this backer, safety, corner is not even locked in before the snap. He's got his eyes in the backfield. When he finally gets locked in, that tight end gets out ahead of him, and Chase Mason delivers an easy pass. But it's the eye candy. Same formation, same look. They run the same look. It's like, oh, we're going to run it again. They run it again. Everybody's got their eyes in the backfield. Everybody's trying to get there. And I got to believe they went fast with this too, because everybody's still trying to get set up. They make it look like the same exact play. They're probably not even keyed in on the fact that, hey, this is the same look they just gave us. They're still just trying to get lined up. And before they even get lined up, they get it to the tight end on the corner route for the touchdown. Really good job, man. Great job from Chase Mason. Great job from South Dakota State. Great job for their AD. That's good game planning, man. That's good game planning right there. 2nd and 8 coming up. 7-point lead for Youngstown State. They're in the red zone now, and just not a good block from this receiver out here. Probably not good when this guy's playing press man to throw this. But you don't have numbers over here, so I get it. You don't have anybody in the backfield. You're not running it. These are the only 2 options you have. You pick the right side. Not a good block from your receiver, and it ends up being a TFL. Tough play right there. Tough play right there from the South Dakota State, for the Youngstown State offense right there. Here you go. Drop back pass on 3rd and 11 for Beau Brungard. Rolling out of the pocket, trying to find somebody downfield, and he's just going to end up using his legs, getting out around the 10-yard line, and they're going to kick the field goal to give themselves a 17-7 lead in this one, which they hit. 1st and 10 coming up for South Dakota State. 2:25 to go in the half. They're handing it off to Julius Loughridge, who gets nothing. Really good push up front from this Youngstown State front. Watch him fire off the ball, pushing that tackle back. I don't know how many times you've seen this from the South Dakota State offense, but right here, they won the line of scrimmage battle. Watch number 56 as well, winning on the line of scrimmage, resetting that line of scrimmage, pushing those linemen back. Those linebackers are able to find lanes to cut through, and they end up getting a gain of nothing. Youngstown State. Now it's a 1st and 10 for South Dakota State. Playing coverage. Looks like quarters coverage for this Youngstown State defense. And he's looking for Alex Bullock. And it's just, he's got a clean pocket. He's got time. It's just not accurate and not on time. I mean, Alex Bullock isn't even making his break yet. Chase Mason is throwing the ball right as he puts that right foot in the ground. There's no way Bullock was ever going to get that. And I don't think the pass was accurate either. We can't see a good look at the ball. But it's not a strong game yesterday from Chase Mason. Drop back pass for Chase Mason. He's looking for a receiver, and I don't know who he was looking for. He didn't find his guy. I think he's looking for, I think this is Goring. No, Goring's on the bottom. I don't know. This might be number 19. I think this is number 19. He's trying to find him. He delivers it before he's ready to catch the ball. Not good timing. When he finally gets his head around, he's not ready for it. He bats it up. It's a tossed up pass, and it's intercepted from Youngstown State. I don't know why you're going this way. Why are you going this way? Why are you going this way? Go that way. Go that way. All your red jerseys, you got a red jersey right here already getting a block. You got a red jersey on here about to get a block. You got two red jerseys ready to get blocks right there. Go that way. Anyway, it's an interception for South Dakota State, for Youngstown State, by way of Chase Mason and the South Dakota State offense. Youngstown State's back cooking, 2nd and 12 right before the half, and they're going to get it to the receiver number 6, who makes a good move, but is unable to get out of bounds, so the clock keeps eating, and they had 3 timeouts before that. 1st and 10 now, 13 seconds to go in the half. Drop back pass for Beau Brungard, and they fumble it. South Dakota State falls on it, and that's effectively going to end the half. Youngstown State starts with the ball in the second half with a 10-point lead. 30 personnel once again. It's going to be a design quarterback run, and he gets nothing. South Dakota State made some adjustments in the halftime, and they're like, hey, no more of that. Drop back pass for Beau Brungard, trying to throw the slant to his outside receiver, and it's a little inaccurate. Good release from the receiver, but nothing doing there. Nothing doing there at all. Looks like they're in a quarters coverage here, or it looks like they're in a cover 6. Quarters, half of the field, flat safety, or flat corner, given that cover 6 look, and it's just inaccurate pass in the middle of that zone, but it wouldn't have been enough. I mean, it would have been enough to make it a 3rd and manageable. They don't get it. Now, South Dakota State's in the red zone with a 1st and 3. They're handing it off to Loughridge, who's falling forward for the first down. Loughridge had 170 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, so that boy was balling. Really good job right there on the run. They kicked the PAT, bringing it within 3. More 30 personnel from Youngstown State. Drop back pass for Beau Brungard. He's got a lot of protection, and he's getting the out route to Tomczak, who had 3 touchdowns in this game. This is a big boy throw, a big field throw where you got to throw it from one hash to the opposite numbers, and he gets it there on time, in stride for the first down. Really good job from Beau Brungard. Here you go, 11 minutes to go. Jet sweep with the receiver number 1, who's getting outside and getting down around the 30-yard line of South Dakota State. Really, really good job. Blocked up well. Arcing that tight end on the outside. Running back's a lead blocker. Tight end gets a hat on a hat. Running back, next guy, gets a hat on a hat. That receiver's able to get to the outside. Good block downfield from your receiver, and they end up getting a shoelace tackle, but good play from Youngstown State. Good play. 3rd and 1 coming up. They're handing it off to their running back, who gets nothing. I guess he was still up, though. I mean, we can't see anything in here, but in that scrum, they're pulling a couple of they're pulling, it's GH counter, so guard, H-back counter. They're pulling that guard around, pulling that H-back around. That guard gets the kick-out block. That H-back is trying to get his hat in there. Can't see much, but number 2 is right here. He breaks those tackles and ends up getting a gain of about 5 or 6 yards. They end up getting the PAT, and they're going to kick the field goal. They end up getting the field goal attempt around the, I don't know what yard line they're at, but they get the field goal attempt, and they miss it. It doesn't even hook in at all. Leaving it to a 3-point lead, 17-14, 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. South Dakota State's going to hand it off to Loughridge, who's getting to the outside. I saw a hold. Didn't look like it was called, but right here, man, this looks like a hold. No, number 3. Watch number 3. Maybe not. Maybe he just didn't have a good position. Either way, 2nd and 4 for South Dakota State. Handing it off to Loughridge. Little pin and pull action again. This time they're pinning, pulling their center, that backside tackle around, and they brought an extra lineman. No, they didn't bring it. They did bring an extra lineman on the field. So their center's right here. They got an extra lineman on the front side of the formation to help with that pin. They're going to pull that right guard around and pull that left guard and left tackle around. Right guard's getting the kick out. Left guard, left tackle are just downhill. Good blocks. If they could have gotten to this safety right here, it could have been even a bigger play. Nonetheless, decent run for the first down on 2nd and 4 if they did give them that yardage. Maybe. 1st and 10, under 7 to go in the 3rd quarter. Play action fake, actually a read option to the tight end, or a read option to the running back, Loughridge, and that tight end's arcing around, but they got too many hats of Youngstown State over there. Chase Mason still turns it into a manageable gain for what he was given in the backfield, but only a gain of 1. Heavy personnel set. They got an extra lineman on the field, 2 tight ends on the field, 2 running backs on the field. So 22 personnel with an extra lineman. Your center is right here. No, your center is right here. But they still do have an extra lineman. That extra lineman's right here on the field, unless that's a tight end. I think that's a tight end. Either way, 23 personnel, 22. I think it's 23 personnel. It's a lineman in a tight end jersey. Loughridge is going to get to the outside. They're running more pin and pull. Pinning with that front side, that extra tackle or tight end, whatever you want to call it, pinning with him. They're pulling everybody else around. We're pulling our center. We're pulling our front tackle. We're pulling our backside tackle. Pulling them all in front. That front side tackle gets that kick out. That center gets that seal block if he can. Loughridge cuts right behind it. That other backer gets hung up behind him. I think that's actually a safety. No, that's a backer. Number 33, that's a safety right here, or nickel. He gets sealed. Loughridge cuts right behind it. Good kick out, good seal. That's what you want. That backer gets hung up, and Loughridge walks into the end zone. Really good job, man. They are putting on a pin and pull clinic tape right here, man. Clinic tape pin and pull. They kick the field goal, making it a 21-17 ball game. More 30 personnel from Youngstown State. They get in the 30 personnel. Beau Brungard's trying to run it, but there's nothing there for him, and he runs out of bounds. There you go. Under 5 to go in the third quarter. 1st and 10 for South Dakota State. They lead by 4 now. They're going to run it more with Julius Loughridge, and they're doing more pin and pull. I don't know what it is about this game, or maybe this is just the only run they have. Maybe this is their best run. Maybe they love this pin and pull, but they're running pin and pull to death. And Youngstown State, Youngstown State is doing decent on it, but they're getting like 5 or 6 on it. Was that a first down run? I don't know where the first down. No, that's not a first down run. It's like a run of 4 or 5, but they're getting consistent yardage. 1st and 5 coming up now. They're running it with Loughridge. He's getting downhill, keeping those legs moving, but they're going to stop him at about the 1 or 2 yard line on that. Next play, they're running more power, pinning these guys down, pulling that right guard around, inserting that fullback in there on an A-gap run, and Loughridge gets into the end zone. I think that's his 4th right there too. Really, really good job. That might have been his 3rd. Nonetheless, he gets into the end zone, making it a 10-point game for the Youngstown State Penguins. Really, really good job. They get the PAT. It's good. Youngstown State's got the ball back now. They're down by 11. Drop back pass for Brungard, and he finds his receiver, and he gets big yardage on that. Really, really good job right there. He's getting some big yardage on that pass play. Wide open on the under. It was really just a check down from his running back. South Dakota State looks like they're playing, resembles off man, but it looks like quarters. I'm gonna call it quarters. Looks like they're playing quarters. Ends up being man after they get past a certain depth. You just get it to the check down, and you get it to your running back on the check down, who's getting downhill and getting big time yardage right there. Really good job. Here you go. Right here, they get into a cover 6 flat corner, half field safety, and maybe even a trap corner. But a quarters and quarters right here. They're swinging it out to their running back. Was that a running back? They're swinging it out. Probably a receiver. Yeah, they're swinging it out to the running back. They're in a 4x1 set, an empty set. They get it out to that receiver. Decent blocks, not good enough. And really good tackle right here from this linebacker. Really, really good tackle. He's going to engage the block, force the cutback, and then when you cut back, I'll be the one to make the play. I trust that my defenders on the inside are running and chasing the ball, which they are, so I can force the cutback and then go try to make a shot at the ball carrier. Really, really good job. Really, really good job right there. Youngstown State down by 11, under a minute to go in the third quarter. 30 personnel is back. They're faking the run, pulling him around, and that's a really good TFL from this D tackle, this D end of South Dakota State. Watch him come off the edge, following those pullers around. They're trying to run pin and pull of their own. Quarterback keep pin and pull. He could probably hand it if he sees. He probably is supposed to hand it if he sees this guy's going down. That would be a good handoff read. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how these plays are coached, but this guy's coming downhill. These two ends are coming downhill, following those pullers, and he follows the puller right into a tackle for loss. Really, really good job. The rest of the cavalry's coming, but really, really good job by the South Dakota State defense. Getting the quick screen out to your receiver number 1, who is not finding much of anything there. Really good play from number 91. He's on the line of scrimmage. Looks like they're trying to run some type of stunt. Maybe not even a stunt. They're just trying to rush. He tries to get the inside lane. He falls. 91 just follows the quarterback's eyes and follows the ball and makes the play. Really good job. They didn't get too far upfield, which is what you hope. You're hoping that these guys are going to try to rush, and then you're pushing out. They're going to continue to rush the quarterback. They got the ball off pretty quick, and the timing isn't there. South Dakota State is there. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and long. They end up not getting it, punting it away. Start of the 4th quarter for South Dakota State. Handing it off to their backup running back, who I'm not sure who he is, but really good play from Youngstown State. Watch this guy fire off the ball, getting into the backfield. Not a good block from their left guard right here. He's got his eyes down, and he's able to rush right past him, get a tackle for loss for Youngstown State. Really good job right there. Really, really good job right there. 2nd and 15 coming up. Handing it off to their running back, who's getting outside and down for another loss on the play. Really good flow from this Youngstown State defense. Everybody coming downhill, making sure he's not able to get outside. Good contain, keep contain, force the cutback. Hope that the rest of your defense is flowing and chasing the ball, which they are, and they get the tackle for loss. Really, really good job. 3rd and 24 coming up for South Dakota State. They're going to hand it off to the running back once again. And once again, it is a tackle for, at minimum, no gain of anything. Once again, good flow from this Youngstown State defense, flowing with the ball. One guy wins right here. This backer, this will backer is going to win right here. Beat the guard. He's going to beat the guard and just meet the running back. Really, really good job. Phenomenal job. They're still down by 11, but good defensive stand for Youngstown State. Back to 30 personnel. Drop back pass. He's looking for his receiver, Tomczak, who gets open for the touchdown. You see the double move he put on. So he's going to run a double move. Watch him right here. He's running the out. And he must have got that South Dakota State defender biting on it, because when you look back at him, he's wide open. That South Dakota State defender was completely lost, and they get the touchdown on it. Really, really good job right there for Youngstown State to bring it within 4. They get the PAT. Now 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They're down by 4. They need a stop though. First off, handing it off to Julius Loughridge, running an outside zone, split zone run play. Showing a little, maybe he can pull it and keep it. This is probably an RPO where he can keep it and get it into the flats of your tight end or somebody out here. Either way, he decided to hand it, and Loughridge is getting near first down yardage. That brings up a 3rd and 1. Looks like they're going to run like a quarterback keeper. They're really going to run it to the fullback, and he gets the first down. Nothing crazy. The handoff was a little sloppy right there, but he was a little close to the quarterback. He's probably really excited to get the ball. He gets it nonetheless, and he gets the first down. Good job right there from South Dakota State. 1st and 10 coming up for South Dakota State. RPO, and once again, the pass is batted down. Look at the defensive tackle right here. Get through the line of scrimmage, put his hand up. Actually, he got it to Bullock. It looked like that got batted down. They get it to Bullock. RPO. Bullock's going to run the quick RPO right here. You're reading that backer. If he comes downhill, you want to deliver the ball on the stick route, and honestly, not a huge give read. That backer didn't bite at all on it. He didn't bite really heavy on it, but good ball from Jace Mason. Tight window, get it to your receiver, Alex Bullock, who's down around the 45-yard line. Really, really good job right there. Here you go. You get another 3rd and 1. They're going to hand it off to the fullback again. Same play, and they convert the same way, man. Really good conversion for the South Dakota State offense. 3rd and 10 coming up for South Dakota State. 4-point lead. They need to get some points on the board. And, man, I don't know how Youngstown, this would have this could have changed the game around. And this is like a game-changing play right here. The biggest play of the game. You get them in 3rd and long. You got 7 minutes to go. You're down by 4. You need a touchdown. You've been like, This is the play you got to make, man. This is the play you got to make. They get to the quarterback. They have him seems dead to rights. You got a bunch of guys in the backfield who have opportunities. You're just putting your head down. Why are you diving in there with your head down? Misses him. Chase Mason, they miss him, and then he's able to get the ball off. So obviously you get the ball back, but had you got a sack, that could have gave you a couple of yardage. I don't know. That could have helped a lot. I don't know. 30 personnel is back. We're gonna actually call it 21 personnel, because these are backers, these are running backs, but this is definitely a tight end. So 21 personnel, we'll call it. Either way, they're handing it off to the outside, and a phenomenal play from number 5 of the South Dakota State defense. Watch him out here. He's going to force the cutback. Good contain. You want to keep contained. You're not getting outside of me. You're not getting outside of me. He doesn't, and he brings him down for the tackle for loss. Tough break for Youngstown State right there. 28-24, 3rd and 4 coming up for Youngstown State. They're trying to get the quarterback off the spot, rolling out of the pocket, and nothing is there. Nothing is there. Really good pursuit from the backers of South Dakota State, and watch it. They see the rollout. They see the rollout. The running back's the lead blocker on the boot, and they just run. They just run to him. And it's a really good play for that Youngstown State defense. Really good play. You see South Dakota State's in man coverage on the back end. This is probably the spy, and this is the one covering the quarterback. Once they determine that they are not running routes, we are now rushing the passer. Go get them. Force the throw. We got man coverage behind us. Hope our guys hold up, and we did. 2nd and 6 coming up for South Dakota State. 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They're going to hand it off to Loughridge, who is just running downhill. I mean, if I've ever seen a quiet 170, it would have to be Julius Loughridge's 170, but it's right there. Big run. As soon as I say that, with the nail in the coffin for Youngstown State. So they're going to hand it off to Loughridge. They're pulling that guard around. They're inserting that fullback in there who's getting a block. That guard is pulling around, sticking his nose in there as well, getting a block, and he gets on that safety, just enough on that safety to break Loughridge, and he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Really, really good job to regain their 11-point lead, and that is really going to do it. Youngstown State ended up getting the trash time touchdown, but South Dakota State gets the win. It looked like a 5-point win, but they really won by more, like 10 or 11. Youngstown State is a good team. They should be respected. I'm still don't know about South Dakota State. They got 3 ranked wins on the season, though. So say whatever you want about South Dakota State. I talked a bit about this on Akem's analysis. They have 3 ranked wins. If you look at everybody's resume and look like if you're judging the teams and you were looking at playoff resumes right now, South Dakota State has the best playoff resume in all of FCS football. So say what you want about them. They've looked sloppy. Chase Mason didn't have a great game, but they won 35-30. So winners win, losers lose, and everybody else can just talk about it. But you guys let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I thank you guys for tapping in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave me a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.